Michelle, I'm just admitting people for you. Is that okay?
Do what?
I was admitting everybody. Is that okay?
Yes, definitely. Let them all in. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So, okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Everybody's feeling pretty good. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the academic recruiter for the college. Thank you all for joining us in this session. We so appreciate you sharing just an hour of your evening with us. And before I forget, I need you to know that the session is being recorded. Now, over this next hour, we want to talk with you about programs, options, and opportunities at CVCC. We just want to make sure that you are aware of everything that we have to offer and that you know how to get started. We're going to talk about the admissions process. We'll talk about applying for financial aid, academic programs, and we're going to talk about student life as well. Now, we have a special guest with us this evening, and his name is Dr. Jason Ferguson. He is the VP of Professional Career and Career Studies at CVCC. Now, Jason is going to talk with us about the high demand for qualified workers in the trade and technical industries. He's going to focus on the different programs that we offer at CVCC, programs that will get you trained and skilled to take advantage of some of these great career opportunities that he's going to be sharing with you this evening. So here's what I say, get your questions together. Jason wants to answer all of your questions, and we want to answer your questions as well. So get your questions together. We want the session to be engaging, and we want the session to be interactive. Feel free to put your questions in the chat. We will be checking the chat often. Listen, unmute yourself, use your voice. We'd love to hear you ask those questions as we go as well. Now, to help with the engagement, we will launch several polls throughout the evening. Now, these polls are anonymous, but it is important to us that you engage us with these polls. The feedback from the polls help us to know how to serve our students a little bit better. Now, at the bottom of your screen, if you'll notice, you'll see several buttons, and there's a reaction button there. That reaction button allows you to engage with us. So feel free to use that feature throughout the evening. Again, we want the session to be engaging, and we want it to be interactive, and we want to hear whatever questions you might have. So let me reiterate, if you don't want to unmute, feel free to put those questions in the chat. So to get us started, I am going to launch our first poll for the evening. And the poll is asking the question, what is your main reason for attending the session this evening? Now, that is an important question to us because, and I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll, we want to make sure that you're getting the answers that you need, that you came for, that you joined for this evening. So please, by all means, take a few seconds and we will take a look at it in just a minute. All right, a few more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and end the poll. All right, we will end the poll. And your reason for attending, we have to apply to college, financial aid, learning about programs. It just seems like it ran the whole gambit. So we will be, again, talking about all of these things with you throughout the evening. And again, if you have a question, you don't have to wait to the end of the session, which we will do a Q&A. You can put that question in the chat and we will entertain it. So I'm going to stop sharing at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker for the evening, Ms. Karen Alexander. She is from our admissions department, and she's going to talk with us about the application process. Karen?
Okay, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We're always happy to get in front of groups of students like this who are interested in coming in and starting your educational journey with CVCC. We are currently enrolling for both our summer classes, which start just next week, and also our fall classes that start in August. And I noticed on the chat poll that a few of you were interested in the application process still. So if you have not yet applied, it's not too late. It's a rolling admissions process. You can always do that. It's a very simple process. And that is the starting point for your interaction with the college. All you have to do is just go to our website, centralvirginia.edu, click on the Apply Now link, and just walk through all the questions that are on the application. It only takes about 7 minutes to complete the full application. and you will get an acceptance as soon as you submit that application. It will pop up with an instant confirmation on your screen that you're accepted as a CVCC student. Now, a few things you'll want to note from that. It will tell you if you are coded as out of state or in state for tuition purposes. This is very important because that determines how far any financial aid goes that you will receive and how much your tuition overall will be for the program. Now, Nathan's going to talk to you much more about that in just a moment. But if you are coded out of state for any reason you feel you should be in state, if you're a lifelong Virginia resident, or if you have been here for at least a full year, then you can reach out to the Admissions and Records Office if you feel you might need to appeal that decision. The in-state tuition rate is the best available rate that is reserved only for Virginia residents. Now, you can look at your account for that and any other thing you have. Within 24 hours, as soon as you get the application in, you will receive a temporary username and password. You will want to go immediately over to My CVCC and set up your account. Once you're in there, there is a new survey that we're using for placement. Emily Munez will talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment, how that will be used to actually place you in the appropriate level classes. If it's been more than 24 hours since you've applied, you still will have access to that. So if you've not set up your account, you can always do so. Just get into My CVCC, get everything up and running. If you have any transcripts, high school or college, that can also help us with placement. If you've taken classes at other colleges, at accredited colleges, we can look to transfer those credits back in to help you save time and money and get toward your degree faster here at CVCC. So make sure you submit all of that. If you have any official SAT, ACT scores, we can use those for placement. And if you have any CLEP scores, you might actually be able to receive college credit for certain qualifying CLEP scores as well. So just turn everything in, get the process started early, check for any holds. I will put my contact information in the chat in just a moment. So if you have any questions about the admissions process, anything for A&R, I'll be more than happy to help walk you through everything. And as we go through the session tonight, you'll hear more from each of the departments and hopefully answer all questions that you have about all areas of the enrollment process here at CVCC. So before I turn it over to Nathan in financial aid, are there any general questions for admissions and records? You can either drop it in chat or unmute yourself and ask if there's anything right now. Not seeing anything yet. So if you think of anything, we'll all be on here, as Michelle said, till the very end. So just hold your questions or just jump in and ask them anytime, and we'll be glad to help you out. So again, thanks for joining us. And I will now pass it on over to Nathan to talk to you about affording college and your options for financial aid.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name's Nathan, and I'm working the financial aid department. I have a short PowerPoint that I'm going to share with you, hopefully, if I can get this to work right. Share. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oops. All right, there we go. I want to welcome you tonight to our information session, and congratulations to anybody that's graduating this spring. We look forward to seeing you here at CVCC in the fall. How to pay for college. Karen talked to you about applying for admissions, and I would stress to you, if you're going to use financial aid, that you put your social security number on your application. That's how we connect your FAFSA to your account once we get your FAFSA. So that's important if you're going to use financial aid. And then to apply for financial aid, you go to the website there that's on the screen, fafsa.gov. If you go to fafsa.com, they will charge you to do it, or some other. If you're on a website that's charging you to do it, you're on the wrong one, because it is called the free application for federal student aid. So you want to make sure that you get the right website. Here's the cost per tuition, or the tuition cost per credit hour for in-state and out-of-state. You can see that it's significantly cheaper for those that are Virginia residents. So if you are a Virginia resident, you want to make sure that you get that on your application. To complete the FAFSA for the fall would be the 21-22 FAFSA if you're planning to start in August. And before you begin the FAFSA, you want to make sure that you have an FSA ID, or Federal Student Aid ID. And there's the website that you can go to get that. You can also click a link on the FAFSA.gov website that will take you to the website to create an FSA ID. If you're under 24 years of age, in most cases, you're going to need a parent to also sign the FAFSA with you, and they will need an FSA ID as well. And remember to put CVCC's school code on the FAFSA so that we get your FAFSA. And there's our school code. And if you don't write it down, you can look it up when you're doing the FAFSA. And then your FAFSA is not complete if we request documents. Karen talked about setting up your My CVCC account. And that's important because we communicate to you through that My CVCC account, through the message center and through what's called the to-do list on there. So any documents that we need will be put on the to-do list in your My CVCC account. So you need to check that regularly and make sure that everything's up to date. There's several different avenues of financial aid, federal grants. There's the Pell Grant, which is the main source of financial aid for those that get federal aid. And that's up to $6,495 for the 21-22 year. And that's for the year, not for the semester. So it would be split in half per semester. And then the FSCOG is another grant, federal grant, up to $300 for the year. And then we have state grants as well. If you're a state resident, you can get the Commonwealth grant for those that are full-time, six hours up to full-time. And then for the part-time grant is for anyone 1 hour up to 8 credit hours, and that's up to $1,500 for the year. And then the VCCS grant up to $1,000 per year. And then the foundation scholarship, there is an application on our website that you can complete to get the foundation scholarship. We also have a payment plan, and there's the steps to apply for a payment plan. So if you can't afford to pay all the tuition up front, you can spread it out over 3 or 4 payments. And if you want to do that, you can also contact the accounting office and they can help you through that if you need help. Can I use financial aid to purchase books and maybe a laptop? Yes, you can. But you need to have enough financial aid to cover your tuition, and then have more than that, and anything more than what's covering your charges can be used in the bookstore to buy books or maybe a laptop or any other school supplies that you might need. So things have changed over the past year due to COVID. So if your circumstances have changed, such as you lost your job and you no longer have an income, or there's a lower income or higher medical bills, because we used for the 2021, 2022 FAFSA, you're going to be using your 2019 income. So if things have changed from that to now, and it's going to be less income in your household, contact our financial aid office and we can help you with what's called a professional judgment that will adjust your EFC for that, so that you can get a little more financial aid. There's a new program for Virginia residents this coming fall. It's called the G3 program. Get skilled, get a job, and give back. Get skilled is the part of that we're involved in. And for those that qualify and have the need, it can take care of your tuition costs for community college. So you basically have free tuition to go to school and get skilled so that you can get a job in the area that you get your degree in. It does have to be a G3 approved program. And you can see the rest of the qualifications there. You have to be Title IV aid eligible, which is determined by your FAFSA, and be less than or equal to the 400% of the poverty guideline in the area where you live. So those are some of the guidelines. If you have any questions about that, you can contact the financial aid office. Here's our contact information, and I'll put it in, like Karen said, I'll put it in the chat box as soon as I'm finished here as well, so that you can write it down. And if you have any questions, you can contact us either by email or by phone, or if you have any questions right now and want to unmute yourself and ask them, or if you put them in the chat box, I can answer them right now as well. All right, I'll turn it back over to Michelle, and I think she has another poll for us.
Michelle, you're muted.
And there we go. All right. Yes, indeed. We do have another poll, but I'd like to pause for a minute because if there's any questions out there, as Jason has already said, we will love to entertain them as we go. All right. Well, this next poll is asking the question, do you have a computer or laptop needed for your classes? So let me go ahead and launch that. That's an important question as well. We won't entertain it right now, but when Emily is talking with us, she will bring that question back into focus and talk a little bit about that. All right, we're going to end the polling, share the results. Do you have a computer and a laptop? Look like some of you have said yes, and a few of you do not. And do you have reliable internet service? Look like everybody said yes to reliable internet service. So again, Emily will speak to this in just a few minutes. I'm going to stop sharing at this point. And our next speaker that's going to be speaking with us is Dr. Jason Ferguson. Jason?
So good evening, everyone. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the programs within the Professional and Career Studies Division. And I'm going to try to share my screen. I've got a small PowerPoint here. There we go. So with our division, just about any type of career that you can think of. Now, if you're looking to come to CVCC to transfer to a four-year school, there's a whole other division that can help you with that. But what our division is about, we do have some transfer programs, but we're about jobs. We're about getting folks trained quickly, getting credentials, getting jobs, and making money. That's really the focus of the programs within this division. And there's a ton of different programs that you can attend. We have programs in the area of business. So maybe that's something that you've thought of like business administration or business management. Maybe it's culinary arts, and that's not just cooking. That may be hospitality management, managing big events, could be general clerical, other management programs, but we have a ton of offerings if that's what you're looking to do. And this could be a start, again, into a transfer program like business administration. You can start at CVCC with a 2-year associate's degree and look to transfer to a 4-year school. As far as health sciences go, we have a ton of health sciences program. And Nathan just mentioned the G3. Well, health sciences, health programs fall under G3. So there's tons of funding available. It is one of the best times that I can think of in my time at CVCC, where there's funding opportunities to get you skilled and to get you certified. So we have fast classes, what are called fast forward. They're non-credit, and they typically last a few weeks to a few months. And that might be certified medical assistant. It could be medical scribe. It could be phlebotomy. And then we have other programs that fall in our credit side that may lead to an associate's degree like respiratory therapy, radiological technologies, or med lab technician. So again, healthcare and the climate that we live in now, everyone knows the need for healthcare professions. The demand is there, the jobs are there, and it's good money to be made in the health services. Also, industry and manufacturing, another area that G3 covers. And we have a ton of programs. Maybe it's machine tool. We have our machine tool program coordinator, Mr. Dillard, will tell you that a lot of his graduates, this is a 2-year program. It's not even a degree program. And those graduates are coming out, starting out making, $60,000, $75,000 a year. And then within a matter of a few years of experience, they're making 6 figures. So this is real money. This is not just minimum wage. This gets you great paying jobs. HVAC is a growing area, right? So heating and air conditioning. And you see all of the companies, you see the commercials on TV, they're all looking for help. CDL, big need for truck drivers. That's a quick program. You can get certified and get out to making good money fast. We also have electrical. We have solar installer that we're putting in. We have welding. There's just a ton of programs, again, in the industry and manufacturing that are huge needs. maybe public safety is what you're looking at. And this is also a G3 area. And this is my background, actually. So prior to coming to CVCC and the programs that I used to run and teach here before, when I was a faculty member, all fall in this public safety area. So it could be maybe you're interested in law enforcement, or maybe you're interested in court systems, probation and parole. So administration of justice program would be a great opportunity. Maybe you're looking at EMS. So EMT through paramedic. We have all levels of EMS. We have fire science. We also have telecommunications is a brand new program. If you think of what people typically call a 911 dispatcher, that's a whole program that prepares you for that field. So again, public safety, always job openings in this area, and always really, I can tell you from personal experience, a rewarding experience that you can get, not just, when you look at public safety, I can't tell you that the pay is going to be great, but what I can tell you is that the rewards of the people that you help will mean a lot to you. Nicholas, did you want me to pause? Did you have your hand up for a question?
Yeah, I had a question. I was going to ask you, you said these are non-credit courses.
Some are and some aren't. So it just depends. So some, and I can tell you specific ones, but some, and when I say non-credit, that just means that it's still the same like objectives and credentials and things that you get from some of our credit programs, but they may be a little bit faster. They may be, again, a couple months versus an entire semester, year, or 2 years.
Okay.
But if you have specific programs in mind, I can tell you the options that for each of those programs.
Okay, can you just go back to that last slide?
Yeah, I can, maybe.
Thank you.
I can try. Well, let me see, buddy. Let me go down here and try. There we go. How about that?
Okay, so is there like a category for anything in STEM? Like that was the first question. Then my second question is, since some of them are non-credited and credited, can we take that? Can we do this while we're already taking our classes for our degrees?
Yes, that's a great question. So, depending, you can definitely enroll in different programs from non-credit to credit, depending on, there's some certain financial assistance. There's some stipulations with that, but as far as just enrolling in classes, let's say someone's paying out of pocket, they could potentially be enrolled in a credit program and then also take some of these. Obviously, if it doesn't conflict with their class schedules, right? That'd be the only thing you'd have to worry mainly about.
Yeah.
And as far as STEM itself goes, I would say engineering actually falls in the other division, but engineering does fall under G3. So that is something directly within the STEM. And then as I get into after that public safety slide, I'll show you some other programs that kind of relate, like mechatronics and things that do relate to STEM.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because I was doing mechatronics. That's what I was asking.
Okay, gotcha. So let me go here to technology, and here's some of the programs that more relate to STEM for you. So these programs are falling within the G3 as well, and so that mechatronics and some of the networking that we have that fall within that. We may have some other IT and networking classes that we'll be adding in the non-credit area that you can get certifications. So maybe that's something you want to look at to kind of, depending on what area that you're going into. That industrial maintenance that I mentioned earlier, that is a kind of a derivative of mechatronics, right? Because that we'll have a electrical and a mechanical pathway. So maybe the operation side of mechatronics is not what you're interested in, or maybe with the job market, if you look, a lot of these companies now looking for industrial maintenance, and that's maintaining these things, whether it's electrical or mechanical, that fall within manufacturing, advanced manufacturing with mechatronics. So that program kind of relates to mechatronics as well. And then again, if you're looking at the computer networking side of it, we have that there, as well as other IT programs, including cybersecurity in our IST program, or Information Systems Technology, which is really a kind of a whole lot of different things in the IT area, from web page design to programming. It has some cyber components in there now. So it's just a little bit of everything in that IT realm.
Okay, I just have
And
one last one.
sure, go ahead.
Can you take one of these courses and it's not your degree?
Can you take a class like within a different degree program?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. So again, it's for if when we're talking about financial aid, like Nathan was talking about, and some funding mechanisms, there may be certain restrictions at times for different things, and we can help you navigate that. But as far as being able to take a class within a program without being in that program, yes, you can take classes, individual classes. So if there's a particular class that may interest you, then that's something that we can work with you on.
Oh, so you can't enroll in like the whole length of the program?
Well, you can. I mean, there are, again, that would be something where if you knew specifically, if you wanted to talk to someone like in counseling, or I can help you, or anybody on here can kind of help you navigate that. If we know, we could talk with you one-on-one, and we could understand what program you're taking now, what programs you'd like to take, and explain how all that would work specific to your request.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
All right,
Jason, can I interrupt for a
Sure.
minute?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
financial aid won't cover a class that's not in your program, but there are certain circumstances where if, let's say you're full-time and you have enough aid to cover that class, you can take that class and it won't cost you anything out of pocket because you already have enough aid to cover it. So there are ways that you can do that. Sometimes it can get a little difficult, but there are ways that you can do it.
Okay.
And so again, that's why I say if we know more specifics than the folks on here, we can help you navigate that, or anyone navigate some of that. But here's my contact info. If any of you have any questions, there's my email address. If you email me, I will answer your question, or I will get you someone that can better answer it than I can. I will stop sharing now, and thank you all for your time. I'll be around if you have other questions, and I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle Fletcher.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Can you guys hear me? Very good. Thank you, Jason. Listen, Jason just ran down a whole list of programs that will get you in, get you out, get you credentialed, and making a nice salary, affording you a nice life. If you're not interested in transferring to a four-year college, okay, that's okay. But every one of us know that you're going to need more than that high school diploma. And so I would say to you, just at some point, you might want to go back and look at this session again, because it is being recorded. And just, again, listen to the kind of programs he's talking about, because they will afford you, again, a nice paycheck, and get you in, get you out. And if you're not interested in doing 4 years of college, again, that's just fine. But you're going to need more than that high school diploma. All right, we do have another poll, and I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. This next poll is asking the question, what programs are you interested in at CVCC? So I'm going to go ahead and launch that and have you respond to that. What programs are you interested in at CVCC? Okay, we're going to give it another few seconds for that. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the polling, and we're going to share the results. And it looks as though allied health, respiratory, medical lab, radiology, and there are other programs as well. Emily Muniz is going to come now. I'm going to stop sharing, and she's going to talk with us about the various programs that we offer at CVCC. And she's going to talk with you about onboarding as well. Again, the steps that we take to help you make that transition from high school to college. And for those of you who may have been out of school for a while and you're looking to come back, you graduated already and you're looking to take that step toward college, we will talk with you about, again, how to move forward with that. So without further ado, Emily, are you there?
Yes, I am. I will be
All right.
honest, my child might walk into the room while I'm presenting, so we might have to edit that part out. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. As she said, my name is Emily Munez. I am the transfer counselor at CVCC. I am going to be talking to you today about what we do in the counseling office, as well as our programs of study. We have started something new where you, when you apply as a new student, will be assigned to a onboarding advisor. We call them college navigators, as well as an academic advisor. The onboarding advisor or the navigator will help you if you need help with the admission application, if you need help with the FAFSA that Nathan was speaking about. They are there to assist you with that part. We will also make sure that you are in the right program of study so that you're taking the right classes. We will also, they will also help you making sure that you have completed the college readiness component. So you may have heard in the past that we had placement testing. That is no longer the process that we have, partially due to COVID, partially just the way that the system is evolving. We used to require high school transcripts. We no longer require those for admission. They may be needed for financial aid. So again, check your to-do list for that. The way we determine placement now is by having students complete a survey. So if you have graduated high school within the last 5 years, your survey is going to ask you what was your GPA in high school and what was the highest level of math that you took. And that will tell us what college and math classes you're eligible to take. If you've been out of high school for 5 years or more, you will do a survey. It will give you some sample questions for math and English. You will be eligible for any college level math or English class that you choose to take. You will work with your advisor to determine what is the best place for you to start. Some students who've been out for a while, they want to kind of start with a refresher course. And so we will talk about that to make sure you're successful. So that is all of the parts that you will work with the College Navigator with. And then when you're ready to enroll, they will connect you with your assigned academic advisor. And that's where we will talk about, again, making sure that you're in the right program. We'll talk about whether you want to transfer, what your career plans are, and use all of that information to advise you about what classes to take. We'll also talk about, if you're working, how many classes you should be taking each semester. So we really want to make sure that you're successful, and that looks different for everyone. So again, we'll talk about classes at that time. Before I show you our programs of study and talk about transfer a little bit, I just want to let you know, so once you've applied or you have enrolled, you'll have access to our new student orientation. That is an online orientation right now. It really is going to have a lot of great information to prepare you for your first day. Some of it you've heard tonight. It will be, in even more detail in the orientation. They'll talk about resources on campus, including we have lots of tutoring. So your tuition covers tutoring. We have the Math Achievement Learning Lab. We call that the MAL. That's tutoring for math specifically. We have a writing center. So they can help you certainly with your English papers, but if you have a lab report in a science class, they can help you with that. I refer students there for help with their transfer admission essays. So they're a resource for any writing assignments that you have. We also have the Student Success Center. That is for specific course tutoring. So you can get tutoring there as well. Michelle mentioned this a little bit. Our library has loaner hotspots and loaner laptops. So if you are in an area where the internet is not super stable, you can rent a hotspot. If you need a laptop while you're a student with us, you can rent one of those as well. We have a bookstore on campus, so you can purchase all of your textbooks, supplies, CVCC swag is in there too. They have snacks and things, so you can go there for that. If in high school you had an IEP or you're on a 504 plan, or you need any sort of accommodations while you're a student at CVCC, you would reach out to our Student Accessibility Services Coordinator. Her name is Meredith McLaughlin. I'll be sure to put her contact information in the chat if you need that. And really just, call our counseling front desk. I can put that information in the chat as well. They will get you connected to your assigned advisor if you have one. If you don't, they will get you connected to the right person to get you started. We are currently doing summer enrollment. Those classes will start on Monday and they go through July 30th. We are also doing fall enrollment. So those classes will begin August 23rd and go through December 17th. This fall, we are going to be about 50% on campus, 50% online. So depending on your comfort level and the classes that you need, we should be able to create a schedule for you that works to meet your needs. I am going to share my screen now to show you all where you can find information about our programs of study. So you'll go to centralvirginia.edu, as Karen mentioned earlier. The Apply Now link that she referred to is right there. If you click programs and classes, that will take you to that page. Please shut the door. So we list our programs of study by area. So, as Jason mentioned, if you're interested in business or industry and manufacturing, public safety, humanities, any of these areas you can click on and it will show you the different programs in that area, whether they are for credit, they're through our workforce, whether they're for transfer or not. Someone had asked about engineering. I'll just use that as an example. So we have engineering here. We have two different engineering programs. This particular one is for transfer. So if you click on the link at the bottom of the page, it's going to show you the curriculum. All of these pages look just like this, so you can see what classes are needed. I'm going to go back a couple pages here. On this same programs page, if you click transfer information, this is where you can find any information about transfer. So I maintain these pages. Again, if you know you want to transfer, you should be in one of these transfer-oriented degrees. There are some exceptions to this, and that's what your advisor will help you navigate all of that. But you should be in one of these programs if you know the goal is to go to a four-year school when you're done. I do want to talk quickly about, we have guaranteed admission agreements. So if you are in a transfer-oriented associate degree and you want to transfer to, let's say, UVA, for example, you can read the guaranteed admission agreement. I'll show you that really quickly. As long as you meet all of the criteria in the agreement, you're guaranteed admission to that school. And so they are listed first by public colleges and universities, followed by private, and then any others there. When you click on it, so I'll just click on Radford, for example, it's going to be a document that's anywhere from 2 to 6 pages long, telling you what you need to do to qualify. The main two things are meeting the minimum GPA requirement. So for Radford, that's a 2.8 GPA, and completing the associate degree. There are usually some other stipulations in there. That's why these are so lengthy. Definitely read through it, but we are happy to go through it with you as well, just so that we know that you understand what is expected of you to qualify. Back on this page, we also have articulation agreements. These are the same things as guaranteed admission agreements. The guaranteed admission agreements, I forgot to say, is for the community college and the four-year school. So it's, any Virginia community college to the four-year school. Articulation agreements are more school to school or program specific. So for example, JMU, that's one of our top schools that our students transfer to. They do articulation agreements. So they do agreements with each individual community college as opposed to the whole community college system in Virginia. One last thing I want to talk about, we have co-enrollment programs with all of our private schools in the area. So Liberty, Randolph, Sweetbriar, and the University of Lynchburg. This program is basically a student would apply to both CVCC and one of these 4 schools. If you're admitted, you would be eligible to take 1 class each fall and spring semester at CVCC's tuition rates. You would take that class at the four-year school. Ideally, the class will transfer back to CVCC to help you meet your associate degree requirements, but also help you, move forward in your bachelor's degree. So this is a really great opportunity for students who maybe aren't quite ready to go to the four-year school, but maybe want to kind of dip their toes in there. I have a lot of students that do this. I would be the advisor for that program just to make sure that you're taking the right classes. If you're getting financial aid, that is all ironed out. Again, really great opportunity to, kind of see what it's like at the four-year school. In addition to taking the class, you are welcome to take advantage of other activities on campus, once that's safe to do, of course. Use their library, their bookstore, things like that. Lastly, so just some other information on this page. I think I covered most of it. If you get your associate degree, you may be eligible for a two-year college transfer grant. That is one thing I do help students with, when they're ready to transfer, making sure they're on the right track for that, but also talking about, the financial aid and scholarships at the four-year school. That is all I have. If anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat. Nicholas, I don't know if you have a question for me. Because your hand is still raised, but
Oh, yeah, I do.
okay. What's your question?
I actually had a couple of them.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you about the transfer program.
Mhm.
So, I mean, well, yeah, I'm gonna start with transfer. So that one, it's like when we transfer after the 2 years, and like I know you can go anywhere, like in Virginia. So my question was, I just wanted to ask, me specifically, my major is mechatronics.
Mhm.
So I know you said engineering, that's a transfer one. So is engineering the only STEM program that transfers to 4 years?
No. So some of these technical programs like mechatronics can articulate to a four-year school. I believe we have some agreements with ODU that may work. So that's something we would explore with you. Even if you're in an applied degree, are there any transfer opportunities? We can, certainly help you with that. And it doesn't mean that you can't transfer. If you're taking mechatronics and let's say you decide to, go to a four-year school and major in engineering, just as an example, any of your gen ed classes that you took with mechatronics, could transfer. You just may need to fill in some of those, but again, your advisor will help you navigate all of that. If you decide that you do want to transfer later.
Okay, thank you. And for the what was the last one you said?
What was the last one I said? Oh,
Yeah,
about the co-enrollment programs?
Yeah, co-enrollment. Yeah. So for co-enrollment, I like what you said where it said you can go to one of those private ones for CVC's tuition.
Right.
So how would you go about applying for that, or even knowing if you're eligible or not to actually be in that program?
Yeah, so most of the schools have a separate application that you would fill out for co-enrollment. It's not going to be the same application, for admission if you're going there, just on its own. Sometimes they need to look at high school transcripts. It just really depends on the school. The requirements are not as strict, again, as if you were applying there just on its own. So if you're interested, I'm happy to chat with you about that. You can go to the site I just showed you if you want to explore them a little bit. Liberty has a very easy application that's linked right on their page. University of Lynchburg is the same thing. Those are really the top two that we have students at, though I will say Randolph College, they actually don't charge tuition at all for the co-enrollment course. So that is actually free tuition for their class. So there's a lot of great opportunities there. I definitely, encourage you to reach out and we can explore all those options.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Oh, and then it was so it was co-enrollment, then it was transfer, then it was what was the third one you said?
So we have guaranteed admission agreements and articulation agreements. Those are pretty much the same thing. So just the agreements themselves, you'd want to read through them to see what, it requires, but having a transfer associate degree, meeting the minimum GPA, and then depending on the school, there may be some other criteria that you need to meet. So I always encourage students to read through it first and then, meet with us so we can go through it with you.
Okay, because I know I was on the website and I saw that 2 weeks ago. I was like, is this new? And I was just like, I don't know. So that's why I was just like, yeah, I got to jump on this call just to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're glad you're here. It's not new. It's something we've had always. But yeah, definitely something to discuss.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to pass it over to Deanne McDaniel in our student life area.
Thank you, Emily. Good evening, everyone. So you've heard all of my colleagues talk about the academic side of the house. Now I'm going to talk about kind of the non-academic fun side of the house. So when you come to college, whether it's a community college or four-year school, we always want to make sure that we tie in activities back into your academic learning. And that's what Student Life provides to you. So we have leadership opportunities, and those can be obtained by participating in a club or organization, or in some of our student leadership opportunities we have, like our SGA, which we're going to be revamping this summer, and then our student ambassador program. Both of those are kind of our top leadership opportunities to represent the school. With our student ambassador program and our SGA program, you would work closely with Michelle Fletcher, as well as some of the other counselors here that go out to the different schools or high schools and visit, help students sign up, and just represent the school in general. In addition to those pieces, we also have activities that we do, whether it is an educational activity or a fun activity. If you see in the picture behind me, that is our major yard area at the school. So a lot of times that's where we have our picnic and other activities. As things have constantly changed with COVID-19, we're not sure what our activities exactly will look like for the upcoming fall semester. But one thing that will remain that we did over during this last year is we created a virtual student center in Canvas. And in there, we created engagement activities for the students to participate in. We will always keep that regardless of whether we are fully on campus or whether we're back in a virtual world. We will incorporate that into our live events on campus. So those students who are taking online classes can also participate in our activities, or can see things that we've done on campus and still be connected and involved. So regardless of whether you're going to take classes online or whether you're going to be on campus with us in the fall, there's an opportunity for you to still participate in activities and have some engagement with us. Again, just keep an eye out onto your emails, and in the Canvas, when you go into SIS Canvas, when you log in there, you'll see the option for the Virtual Student Center. You are automatically enrolled into that program. It is a non-graded class. So it's there so that you can see the activities. Like Emily was talking about her transfer events, when we have schools coming to visit us, they're also listed in there in a way, whether they're virtually, if they're virtual, their Zoom links are there. If they're going to be on campus when we go back in the fall, those will be listed there as well. And then if Michelle has an event that she needs some help with, we'll post those in there. So there's different things that you'll see on the calendar in the Virtual Student Center, so that it's a reminder for you that if you would like to participate. So we'll keep all of that going, one shape, form, or another. Those are the ways we let you know what's happening on campus, as well as when you're on campus, there are digital monitors all over campus that we advertise events on. So those are kind of the ways that we reach out to students to let them know what's happening, in addition to the weekly email that I send out. So keep your eyes open for those as we begin to move into the fall semester, so that you know about the variety of activities that we'll be offering. Then hopefully if we're on campus, you'll get to stop by and say hi and meet me and some of my colleagues here when we're at those events, so we can put a face to a name. So we look forward to having you join us in the fall, whether you're online or on campus. And we wish you good luck in your career endeavor. And Nicholas, did you have a question for me?
Yeah, I had a couple of them.
Okay.
The first thing I wanted to ask about was student government. That is student government, correct?
It is right now, yes. We are going to revamp it some though, but yes.
And you said in the summer, so I wanted to ask you, can I be in?
Sure. What I'm doing right now is I'm keeping a list of students who have expressed interest in it, and it'll be more towards the fall when I contact those students. I am doing a revamp of the student government over the summer, just to streamline it a little more and to tweak it some with some things that have changed over the last year. But yes, I will reach out to you and let you know when it's open and what the positions are, and to see what you're interested in. So I will add you to my list.
Okay. And my second one is, you said it wasn't just student government, it was something else, right?
Student ambassadors, yes.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
I know, like me, like I can get some people to come to the college, like if y'all want to recruit or something. So if y'all have me as one of them, then I can get some people to come.
Okay, well, I will let Kimberly French, who is in charge of that program. I'm not sure how she's going, how and when she'll start putting those applications out, but I will let her know that you are interested so she can reach out to you as well.
I about to say, yeah, because I can put my application in if I need to now or something like that.
Yeah, I will definitely let her know. Like I said, she's been heavy into the revamping of the advising model that we're using, so she hasn't focused on that yet, but I will definitely let her know tomorrow.
Oh, and also with the coming on campus, I was planning on coming on campus in the spring. So I was gonna ask, is the only way you can be in any other extracurricular activities, do you have to be on campus?
Now we do both online. We'll do both online activities as well as activities on campus. So no, you'll be able to participate regardless of which way you're taking classes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, cool, no problem. Thank you for your interest. Well, thank you everyone who joined this evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle Fletcher so she can wrap it up for the evening. Michelle?
Thank you, Dee, and thank you, panel. That was just a wealth of good information. Now, let me say this, Dee, so that I can have witnesses. I have first dibs on Nicholas. So you might want to hold off talking to Kimberly. I have first dibs on Nicholas. Nicholas, you have been great this evening. You have made us earn our keep in terms of communicating with us and engaging and asking all those questions. And so we appreciate that so much. This is now the Q&A portion of the evening. And so we want to open it up for everybody. If you're sitting on a question, an idea, a thought, something you want to share with us, please, we want to hear it. So we're going to give a few minutes here for a Q&A and let you guys ask any questions that you might have. Anybody?
Oh yeah, I just got this last one.
All right, what is it, Nicholas?
I wanted to ask, like, some clubs you get like aid or like a stipend or something. Are any other clubs like that?
I'll let Dee answer that, especially for the ambassadors.
So our student ambassadors program, yes, you do get I guess it's a scholarship, we considered it, each semester. I'm not sure if they're going to keep the same, so I don't want to quote an amount. And then with student government, they were doing that. I will have to speak with our education foundation to see if they are going to continue that with this upcoming semester, since we didn't have students this past semester. I'm not sure what the status is. That may change. It may not, but I will get with them, and that'll be part of the advertisement that will let you know whether. But other than that, no, we don't. None of our other clubs get a kind of a benefit from it. The only two clubs that we have that are kind of program specific are respiratory and radiology, and they are part of the program. They do get money from SGA to help with going to their conferences they have to attend as part of their program. That is the only kind of aid that they get from student government, not any like tuition benefits or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, I want to do a little round robin real quick, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot. So if I get to your name, you don't want to respond, that is just fine. Nicholas, I know what you're studying with us, but what's the dream in terms of your career? What are you looking to do?
It's like a whole lot of stuff I want to do.
Narrow it down for me, Nicholas. Narrow it down for me.
So I know one of the things I want to do, like I want to be able to turn the world's like energy strictly to like water, and more or less like it be, it's not, it could be so, I want it to be solar empowered and water powered, not with fossil fuels and gas and stuff like that. That's how I really want to change it to. So, and I was just like, all the water on the earth, if we could use that as the energy source and the sun. So it's like,
you go get them, Nicholas. All right, very good. Jalen, what about you? What are you looking to do career-wise? Okay, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Ryan, are you there? All right, well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Just want to get some idea of what you're looking to do career-wise, because again, that's important to us as well, because we want to make sure that you get started on the right track and that we are helping you in the way that you need to be a service in terms of what you're looking to do career-wise and getting you into the right programs. All right, we have one. Yes,
I'm sorry, Jalen said nursing.
nursing. Okay, okay, all right. I didn't hear from Ryan, and we have one more person that's on the phone. If you want to share with us, we're happy to hear it. Anyone? Okay, well, we have one more poll that we want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. And that question is, did you find the information in this session helpful this evening? So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. Give you a few seconds to answer those questions. Was the information session worth your time? And did you learn anything new about opportunities at CVCC? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and end that poll. And we're going to share the results. And it does look like everyone got what they needed this evening. So again, thank you very much for attending. And I'm going to stop sharing at this point. A few reminders and then I'm going to let you go. These sessions are recorded and they are on our YouTube channel and on the website. So I would encourage any of you to go back, take a listen. There was a lot of information that came your way. So go back, take a listen, slow it down. If you have questions, please reach out to us. I'm sure everybody has their information in the chat, so make sure you get a hold of that information. We are doing these sessions every Tuesday. So join us again if you can next Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. We would love to have you. Thank you again for joining us tonight and have a good evening.
Oh, I just had one more question. That was it.
All right, bring it.
I just wanted to know, because I also wanted to do work study. So is work study kind of like the same thing as clubs, or it's like that's different?
I'm gonna let Nathan answer that one.
All right, work study, Nicholas, would be you actually get a job on campus working for one of the departments, and you would basically get a paycheck, the same as if you were a regular employee. Just the difference between a regular employee and a work study student is that the government pays part of your wages as a work study student. So that's kind of how that works.
And is work study going to be available in the spring?
As far as I know, it will be, yes.
Okay. Or can you put me down as one of the people that want to do it?
Actually, on your FAFSA, when you do the FAFSA for 21, 22, that will be a question on the FAFSA, and you can say that you're interested on there, and we will get that when we get your FAFSA.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
All righty. Well, okay, we're going to go ahead and end the evening at this point. Again, thank you so much for joining us and have a good night.
See you next week.
See you next week, Nicholas.